Hello from Kingfisher, Oklahoma. Today we're looking at 7 things from Genesis 18 and 19 that caught my attention. First, 3 men come to visit Abraham. Some suggest this possibly could be the Trinity, or maybe it's only angels as they move on towards the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah. 2, it's a crack up to me in this particular section that Abraham tells her, quickly make a meal, and he himself quickly runs out to dress the calf, but clearly this dinner was going to take a while. No microwave. Third, we're finally getting to this promised heir of Abraham, 24 years after the promise. It's interesting. Number 4, Sodom and Gomorrah is about to be punished. Remember, God is a patient God. They were very sinful and deserved their punishment. This is the God that gave the Amorites 400 years to get their life right. So obviously it was time for sin to be confronted. Number 5, Abraham is trying to bargain for people so that they'll live in the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah. What about 50? What about 45? Etc. All the way down, and there just aren't. In fact, the New Testament says that just Lot was righteous. And even as we look through this story, we're going to go, was he really? But his faith apparently was there. Number 6, Lot's wife's disobedience to God's specific spoken word got her turned into a pillar of salt. That's pretty crazy. So when God tells you to do something, you best just do it. And 7th, we see a strange story involving Lot, and probably he wouldn't want it published for all of us to read his life story. But this suggests true history of 2 nations, Moab and Ammon, that surround what will be the nation of Israel. And last chance warning, spoilers, but this contains some grown-up content. Chapter 18. And the Lord appeared to him in the plains of Mamre, and he sat by the tent door in the heat of the day. And he lifted his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. And when he saw them, he ran out to meet them from the tent door, and bowed himself to the Lord, and said, My Lord, if thou have now found favor in thy sight, pass not away, I pray thee, from thy servant. Let a little water, I pray you, be fetched, and wash your feet, and rest yourselves under the tree. And I will fetch a morsel of bread, and comfort ye your hearts. After that ye shall pass on, for therefore are ye come to your servant. And they said, So do what thou hast said. And Abraham hastened into the tent unto Sarah and said, Make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal, knead it, and make cakes on the hearth. And Abraham ran unto the herd and fetched a calf, tender and good, and gave it to the young man. And he hasted to dress it. And he took butter and milk and the calf which he had dressed, and set it before them. And he stood by them under the tree, and they did eat. And they said unto him, Where is Sarah thy wife? And he said, Behold, in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return unto thee at the time of life, and lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son. And Sarah heard it in the tent door which was behind them. Now Abraham and Sarah were old and well stricken in age. And it ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of women. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, After I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure, my Lord, being old also? And the Lord said unto Abraham, Why did Sarah laugh, saying, I am surety to bear a child which am old? Is anything too hard for the Lord? That's a great question. At the time appointed I shall return unto thee to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son. Then Sarah denied, saying, I laughed not, for she was afraid. And he said, Nay, thou didst laugh. And he rose up from thence and looked toward Sodom. And Abraham went with them, bringing them on the way. And the Lord said, Shall I hide from Abraham the thing which I shall do? Seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of earth shall be blessed in him. Repeat the covenant. For I know him, and that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Lord, to do justice and judgment, that the Lord may bring upon Abraham that which he has spoken of him. And the Lord said, because of the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and because their sin is grievous, I will go down now and see whether they have done altogether accordingly to the cry of it, which is come unto me. And if not, I will know. And the men turned their faces from thence and went toward Sodom. But Abraham stood yet before the Lord. And Abraham drew nearer and said, wilt thou destroy the righteous after the wicked? Peradventure there be 50 righteous in the city. Wilt thou also destroy and not spare the place for 50 righteous that are within? That be far from thee to do this thing after the manner, to slay the righteous and the wicked. And the righteous should be as the wicked, that be far from thee. Shall not the judge of the earth do right? The Lord said, if in Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will spare all the place for thy sakes. And Abraham answered, behold, now I have taken upon me to speak unto the Lord, which am but dust and ashes. Peradventure there lack 5 of the 50. Wilt thou destroy all the city for lack of 5? And he said, if I find 40 and 5, I will not destroy it. And he spake unto him again, and said, peradventure there be 40 found there. And he said, I will not do it for 40's sake. And he said unto him, O Lord, not be angry, and I will speak. Peradventure there shall be 30 found there. And he said, I will not do it if I find 30 there. And he said, behold, now I have taken upon me to speak before the Lord. Peradventure there shall be 20 found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 20's sake. And he said, O Lord, be not angry. I will speak ye once again. Peradventure 10 shall be found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for 10's sake. And the Lord went his way, and as soon as he left, communing with Abraham, Abraham returned to his place. And there came 2 angels to Sodom at even, and the Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them, bowed himself with his face to the ground. He said, behold, lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night. And wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early and go on your ways. And they said, nay, we shall abide in the street all night. And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned into him, and entered into the house. And he made them feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. But before they lay down, the men of the city, even of Sodom, compassed the house round, both old and young, all the people from every quarter. And they called unto Lot, and said, where are the men which came into thee this night? Bring them out to us, that we may know them. And Lot went out after the door, and shut the door after him, and said, I pray you, brethren, do not do so wickedly. Behold, I now have 2 daughters which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and you do as what is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing, for therefore they came under the shadow of my roof. And they said, stand back. And they said again, this one fellow came to sojourn, and he will be a judge. Now we will deal worse with thee than with them. And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door. But the men put forth the hand and pulled Lot into the house and shut the door. Then they smote the men who were at the door of the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they wearied themselves to find the door. And the men said unto Lot, hast thou any here besides? Son-in-law, and thy sons, and thy daughters, and whatsoever thou hast in the city, bring them out of this place. For we will destroy this place, because the cry of them is waxing great before the face of the Lord, and the Lord hath sent us to destroy it. And Lot went out and spake unto the sons-in-law which married his daughters, and said, get up out of this place, for the Lord will destroy the city. But he seemed as one that mocked to his son-in-laws. And the morning arose, and the angels hastened Lot, saying, arise, take thy wife and thy 2 daughters which are here, lest thou be consumed in the iniquity of the city. And while they lingered, the men laid hold upon his hand, and hold upon his wife, and upon the hand of his 2 daughters, the Lord being merciful unto him. And they brought him forth, and set him without the city. And it came to pass, when they had brought him forth abroad, that he said, escape for thy life. Look not behind thee, neither stay thou in all the plain. Escape to the mountain, lest thou be consumed. And Lot said unto them, O no, my Lord, behold, thy servant hath found grace in thy sight, and thou hast magnified thy mercy, which thou hast showed unto me to save my life. And I cannot escape to the mountain, lest some evil take me, and I die. Behold, now this city is near to flee unto, and it is a little one. Let me escape thither. Is it not a little one? And my soul shall live. And he said unto him, see, I have accepted thee concerning this thing, and I will not overthrow this city, for thou hast spoken. Haste thee and escape thither, for I cannot do anything till thou come thither. Therefore the same name of the city shall be called Zoar. The sun was risen upon the earth when Lot entered Zoar. Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven. And he overthrew the cities and all the plain and all the inhabitants of the cities which he threw upon the ground. But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. And Abraham got up early on the morning to the place where he stood before the Lord. And he looked toward Sodom and Gomorrah and toward all the land of the plain, and beheld, and lo, the smoke of the country went up as the smoke of a furnace. And it came to pass when God destroyed the cities of the plain that God remembered Abraham and sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow, when he overthrew the cities in which Lot dwelt. And Lot went up to Zoar and dwelt upon the mountains, and his 2 daughters with him. And he feared to dwell in Zoar, and he went and dwelt in a cave, he and his 2 daughters. And the firstborn said unto the younger, Our father is old, and there is not a man in earth to come into us into the manner of the earth. Come, let us make our father drink wine, and we will lie with him, that we may preserve the seed of our father. And they made their father drink wine that night. And the firstborn went in and lay with her father, and he perceived not when she lay down, nor when she arose. And it came to pass on the morrow that the firstborn said to the younger, Behold, I lay yesternight with my father. Let us make him drink wine again this night also. And go thou in and lie with him, and we may preserve the seed of our father. And they made their father drink wine that night also. And the younger arose and lay with him, and he perceived not when she lay down or when she arose. Thus were both the daughters of Lot with child by their father. And the firstborn bare a son, and called his name Moab. The same is the father of the Moabites unto this day. And the younger she also bare a son, and called his name Ben-Ammi. And the same is the father of the children of Ammon unto this day. Well, there you go. A lot happening there in 18 and 19. I encourage you, check out the video on Sodom and Gomorrah by Biblical Archaeology. I'll put the link in the comments. It's a great video showing some pretty interesting stuff. Well, we don't know how it's going to turn out for Abraham, but stay tuned. We have more to come. Catch you next time.